What is up, everybody? JT Dangerously here once again. I am back to do my NXT Takeover Chicago predictions. Now, of course, Takeover Chicago is this Saturday live on the WWE Network, of course, in Chicago, Illinois, just like Backlash this Sunday, of course. Both shows are going to be in Chicago. It's going to be a great show, of course. First time they're going to have a takeover in Chicago. They've had it in London, Texas, Orlando. They have not had it in Chicago, so this one's a big time one. Now, of course, that same Saturday, it's the last episode of Samurai Jack of this season 5. So, big episode there, and of course, a great pay-per-view also. But the pay-per-view is going to be big, so is that episode. Definitely, if you're anime fans like myself who watch Samurai Jack, definitely watch that episode if you've watched Samurai Jack like I have. Now, of course, my record after the last NXT TakeOver, which was TakeOver Orlando, I was a perfect 5-0. So, that was our first undefeated record in pay-per-view picks, so that was a fantastic way to start off doing NXT pay-per-views. And hopefully I can continue this. We got 5. We have another five matchups this year. Hopefully we can continue this streak. Now, of course, before I start, I do want to thank everybody who has been watching my videos. Of course, I have my Backlash predictions are up on the channel, of course. Definitely check that out if you're making picks. Of course, I'll have that at the end of the video. And of course, right now as we speak, as I speak, the Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers are playing right now on TNT. And of course, my conference finals of the NBA playoffs are also up on the channel too. So definitely check out that video. I'll also have that at the end of the video. Now, other than that, let's get right into these picks. Of course, they're not in order, and if they add any other matches, I will definitely put them in the description. If not, I'll put it in the comment. Now, other than that, let's get right into these picks. Of course, I'm going to start off with the first match. Of course, it is Roderick Strong versus Eric Young. Now, this was just made tonight because of the attack on Roderick Strong in the number 1 contenders match for the NXT title, which Hideo Itami won, and then Sanity attacked them. Roderick Strong wanted some payback. Eric Young graciously gave him this shot, so this is going to be a fantastic one-on-one match. Now, of course, with Roderick Strong, I mean, those vignettes of who is Roderick Strong to get the people who don't know him to know him, because I watched him a lot. I watched him a lot in TNA when he was the beginning of his career with the whole he's the Messiah of the Backbreaker, and then I watched a few of his matches in Ring of Honor. So Roddy definitely is here. And then you have Eric Young, who's part of Sanity, which is a fantastic group right now with Nikki Cross, Alexander Wolf, and I think Killian Dane, the guy who has Omega's One-Winged Angel. Sanity is a fantastic group for sure. This one's going to be a fantastic matchup. It's Mr. Ring of Honor versus the Daniel Bryan of Impact Wrestling, if you remember that. So, coming from me in this matchup, I'm going to take Roderick Strong to win this matchup, because I think Roderick Strong, they keep doing these promos about his life. Why would they have him lose here in Chicago? So, coming from me, I am taking Roderick Strong, Mr. Ring of Honor, to beat Eric Young in this matchup. And now the next matchup for the United Kingdom Championship. Of course, the champion, Tyler Bate, versus, of course, his number 1 contender, Pete Dunne. Now, of course, I'll be honest with you guys. I only watched day 1 of that 2-day tournament. I was not really interested, but there was only one person in that tournament that I had my eyes on, and he just clicked with me. Was Pete Dunne, the number 1 contender. I mean, just the smug looks and the acting like a badass heel, and I love that, which is fantastic to see. And for some reason, I like this kid. I mean, I saw a WWE exclusive interview with, of course, Charlie Caruso. She asked her a question. So, what do you think of? Who do you think is going to win the number 1? He just gave her this look, and then he just walked away. Done. That guy is legend. He is the heel. He looks like a heel. He's got the attitude like a heel, and I love it. Then you have the champion Tyler Bate, who of course beat Pete Dunne in the finals. I think if I got that right, he beat him in the finals of the UK tournament to become the United Kingdom champion. So I did not know a lot about Tyler Bate. I mean, I only watched the first night of the tournament. I didn't watch night 1. I only watched the first half of night 1. Never watched night 2 because I thought it was good, not really interesting. But of course, we got JR commentating on this match, so that's going to be fun to watch. If you want to delete me, delete me. But it's going to be great to hear JR's voice again. I know last time we heard JR's voice was, of course, WrestleMania. So this one's going to be a fantastic match. And coming from me, I got to go with Pete Dunne. I like Pete Dunne. Tyler Bate has done... he's done okay with the UK title, but who has he beaten? Like, he's beaten a lot of people. I mean, he fought Jack Gallagher a few months ago on NXT. He beat, he's beaten a lot of people, but I want to see Pete Dunne become the new United Kingdom's champion. So coming from me, I'm going to take Pete Dunne to beat Tyler Bate to become the new United Kingdom's champion. And now the next matchup for the NXT Tag Team Championship. Of course, it is a ladder match featuring, of course, the Authors of Pain, the champions, with Precious Paul Ellering versus, of course, DIY, which is Tommaso Ciampa, and, of course, Johnny Gargano. Now, of course, Authors of Pain are still undefeated. They have not been pinned. They have not been submitted since they've come into NXT. Of course, they are the Tag Team Champions. They, of course, retained their NXT Tag Team Championships in that three-way elimination, triple threat elimination tag match at Takeover Orlando, and with of course the Revival going on to the main roster. DIY looks like and this is a ladder match, so for some reason coming from me, I feel like this could be DIY's last chance, because definitely they're gonna. This seems like, because they've been here, so how many times have they got a title shot since TakeOver San Antonio? This is their third chance. They were the champions at San Antonio when they lost it. Then they lost again. They got pinned again at TakeOver Orlando. So coming from me, this has got to be the last match between DIY and AOP. AOP has been dominant. DIY definitely looking for a win. But coming from me, I just have a funny feeling that this ride with Gargano and Ciampa is gonna end here, because I think this is gonna be a fantastic ladder match, no doubt about it. Because ladder matches with tag teams are so good. Especially, I think this is the first tag team ladder match in NXT history. Tag team ladder match. So this is gonna be a first time ever for NXT. So coming from me, I'm gonna take the Authors of Pain to win this match and retain their NXT tag team titles. And I can also see maybe Tommaso Ciampa turning on Johnny Gargano, so we can actually have Gargano and Ciampa maybe in a singles match. I mean, we had it in the Cruiserweight Classic, which was just rough, and I loved it. And I thought that was maybe the best match. I think it was either the end of the first round or the end of the second round. But I think it was the end of the first round. That Tommaso Ciampa Johnny Gargano match was amazing in the Cruiserweight Classic, and I would love to see that. I would love to see Ciampa be a heel and Gargano be a face. So coming from me in this matchup, I'm taking the Authors of Pain to retain their NXT Tag Team Champions and remain undefeated. And now the next matchup, a triple threat match for the NXT Women's Championship. Of course, it's Nikki Cross, Ruby Riott, and of course the reigning, defending, undefeated, undisputed NXT Women's Champion. Of course, I'm talking about Asuka. Now, of course, this match was supposed to be a fatal four-way match with, of course, Ember Moon. Now, of course, Ember Moon got hurt, so she's going to be out for a couple weeks. But coming from me, I think this is a blessing in disguise. This injury couldn't come any better. Ember Moon has to get a one-on-one rematch with Asuka. That is no doubt. After TakeOver Orlando, how Asuka used the referee to win that match. Of course, she's the heel. Ember Moon deserves a one-on-one rematch. She didn't need to be in this fatal four-way match. She deserved a one-on-one rematch. And with this injury, it absolutely helps Ember Moon, because the next NXT pay-per-view we have is TakeOver Brooklyn. They're going into the SummerSlam week. So what better place to have Ember Moon maybe win the title at TakeOver Brooklyn over Asuka. Now, of course, you have Nikki Cross, Ruby Riott, or talents. I mean, of course, Nikki Cross representing Insanity. Ruby Riott, a newcomer who has been very, very good. So, but when it comes to Asuka, let me say this. She's been undefeated for 2 years. She has already broken Goldberg's record. I've been keeping an eye on it since the last TakeOver with her live shows. She is now she has broken Goldberg's record of 174-0. She has not lost in 2 years. Now, how can you say I'm not going to pick against a girl who's been undefeated and has already broken Goldberg's 173 record? I mean, they're going to have to say something about this, because I mean, those live, what is it, like the ones like outside of the Full Sail University, like the house shows, she's been winning, so that record accumulated up until right now, which she is now 174-0. So coming from me, this is an absolute no freaking brainer. I am picking the undefeated, undisputed NXT Women's Champion Asuka to retain over Ruby Riott and Nikki Cross, and to continue this undefeated streak onto NXT Takeover Brooklyn in August. And now the main event for the NXT Championship. Of course, the champion, the glorious Bobby Roode versus, of course, his number one contender, Hideo Itami. Now, of course, Bobby Roode is also undefeated in NXT. We have 3 undefeated champions in NXT right now. Of course, Robert Roode defeated Shinsuke Nakamura at TakeOver Orlando, and Shinsuke went off to SmackDown, and he's going to be on to better things. Of course, he's got Dolph Ziggler on Sunday. And, of course, he is the face now of NXT. I mean, look at the guy. He is the it factor of professional wrestling. And, of course, when you have Hideo Itami, who won a number one contenders match over Roderick Strong to get here, of course, he's finally getting that push. Well, this could be this coming from me. This is his last push, because he's been there for years. He's been injured multiple times. So NXT definitely just gave him, here, you got your chance right here. If you win, you're the champion. If you lose, you're off to the. Now, of course, I can also agree. At NXT TakeOver, my boy Adam Cole is going to debut. He's going to be in the crowd, and I will officially say Adam Cole is part of the NXT, and that's Adam Cole, baby. But back to this match, of course, Hideo Itami's finisher is, of course, the GTS. Now, he did say a tweet. He said, "I cannot wait to hit my GTS in Chicago," and I mean. And it's in Chicago, and anybody in Chicago knows the only GTS there is, of course, CM Punk. So, just him doing that is like, okay, you know what? Coming from me, I guarantee you Hideo will not hit that GTS on Roode. He'll have multiple attempts against them, but I guarantee you Hideo will not hit the GTS on Roode in that whole match. I just have that funny feeling, because if they do it, they're gonna chant CM Punk the whole match. If he gets to hit that GTS, he will hear a CM Punk chant like no other. And coming from me, I am taking Bobby Roode to win. I don't see any, but the only 2 people I can think now who can challenge Bobby Roode is maybe Drew McIntyre or Adam Cole. This is definitely Hideo's last match. He doesn't win, he's going off to the main roster. I'm going to take a wild guess he's going to go to Monday Night Raw with the Cruiserweight, so that can make their Cruiserweight division even more big with Hideo. So coming from me in this matchup, I'm taking Bobby Roode to retain his NXT Championship and, of course, remain undefeated. And Hideo, we will see you every Monday night with the and of course, on 205 Live with the Cruiserweights. And those are my NXT TakeOver Chicago predictions. Now, I hope you guys did enjoy my predictions. Comment below, who do you have winning these matches? Do you see Roode retaining? Do you see Tommy winning? Do you see AOP winning or DIY winning? Let's tell me what you guys think. Let's have a conversation about it. Of course, comments are always welcome on the channel. Of course, I will see them. Of course, hit that thumbs up, and of course, reply right back to you, because once again, comments are always welcome on this channel. Now, of course, I do want to thank you guys so very much for watching this Wednesday evening, and of course, before you go, you can never forget to do this on my channel. That like button, comment, share with your friends. Of course, super kick that like button like only you guys can. And of course, you can never forget to do this as well. That subscribe button to become part of this bigger and dangerous alliance. We're at 134 subscribers. Keep it up, guys. And of course, I will see you guys in my next video later days. And peace.